Hello everyone, welcome back. This is DisturbingPuppet. Felt like playing something a little different today, so we're going to go back and play a little bit more Gloom. Not a particularly gloomy day, but felt like something to play. Such great transitions. I love the art style in this game. Very Edward Gorey inspired. So let's take a quick look at the tutorial just to anyone who might have not seen the game before, just get an idea of what you need to do in the game. So welcome to the Gloom Digital Edition tutorial. We're going to teach you how to make your family really sad and then murder them. No, we're going to make the other families happy. Yeah, okay. In Gloom, you assume control of the fate of an eccentric family of misfits and misanthropes. The goal of the game is sad but simple. You want your characters to suffer the greatest tragedies possible before passing on to the well-deserved respite of death. You'll play horrible mishaps on your own characters to lower their self-worth scores, while trying to cheer up your opponent's characters with positive points. That character and their self-worth are counted towards your family's final score. The game ends the instant an entire family is deceased. Each player then totals the visible pathos points on each of their deceased characters. The total of the scores is that player's final score. The player with the lowest score wins. Let's look at the game board. Highlighted on the right side of the screen are the family score icons and turn indicators. When it's your turn, clicking on a family crest will switch to that family. The arrow will show you how many actions are left for the player, so each card is an action. Highlighted on the bottom of the screen is your hand. Click on the cards to expand your hand and view your cards. Click anywhere outside of the hand to minimize it back down. This is a modifier card. These cards will have positive or negative points in 3 different positions on the left side of the card. In Gloom, when you play cards on family members, they sometimes cover up the previous points and effects. So you can kind of see the different point values, those 3 different positions, and sort of the text plagued by the pox. Modifier cards also have a death story icon. Some cards interact with different story icons, giving you bonus effects. Shown above are some story icons. We've got Beast, there's Blank, Death, Duck, Goblet, Lucra, Marriage, or none. And here is an untimely death card. These cards can only be played during the first action of a player's turn and can only be played on family members with negative self-worth. So in this case, drowned in a bog, still waters run deep. So it does have the effect worth an additional -10 with the death icon. This card will give you a bonus of an additional -10 if played with the death icon, like I just said. This is an event card. Event cards have many different effects explained in the description box in the bottom of the card. So this is Imaginary Friend. The event card lets you choose any living character from a family of your choice and remove it from the game. It's a very powerful card. Finally, we have a mystery card. These cards can only be played on a family's home. Sometimes mystery cards will have negative or positive points. Because untimely deaths can't be played on homes, these points are immediately applied to that family's score. That wraps up the tutorial. Each card has its own effects printed on them, and they're fairly self-explanatory, pretty much. Questions about the rules, etc. Don't forget to make your family as sad as possible. This is Gloom, after all. And that's it for the tutorial. I am using the expansion, which I picked up. Compared to the physical edition of the game, which I do have, the prices are pretty good. I hope they'll add some additional families, or maybe do like the Cthulhu version, which I had as well. Hopefully they'll add some more stuff. Would be nice. Depends on how popular it is. Just to make it easier, we're kind of limiting it just to 2 players, so me and the other family. So now we get to choose our family. They're all kind of weird and creepy. I hope they'll add some more, because there were a lot more in the other expansions. We've got Dark's Den of Deformity, Les Artistes, the Slogars, the Blackwater Clan, and the Wellington Smythes. I kind of like the Wellington Smythes. Just something about the name always makes me say, the Wellington Smythes. So we'll play as the Wellington Smythes. And we'll be playing against Dark's Den of Deformity. I really like the curtain closing and going black. The transitions in this are really cool. Very Edward Gorey inspired. So I get to go first. So take a look at everybody here. So my family, we have Goody Czar, Nefarious Nanny. Goody Czar has been most vigilant in schooling the children. They're nearly halfway through Ye Biggest Book of Poisons. The twins, adorable tots. The Wellington Smythe twins are the sweetest, demonically possessed sociopaths you'll ever meet. We have Butterfield, the lurking butler. Whatever it is, he did it. Lord Wellington Smythe, dumbfounded Duke. Since the death of his wife, he's doted on his two youngest children, despite their remarkable lack of paternal resemblance. We have Lola Wellington Smythe, wild child. Once in a lifetime, you may have the chance to dance with the devil or dice with death. For Lola, that's a slow night. And then we have Hemlock Hall, mysterious manor. Enjoy the lovely gardens while you still can. Actually, I didn't notice that the background actually has changed. Maybe that's something new, so this would be for the family that I'm playing. I don't remember that being that way, or maybe I just didn't notice before. Up here we have the Slogars. Melissa Slogar, a cadaverous child. It's a shame when a child dies at a tender age, but sometimes it's a shame when she doesn't. Grogar, work in progress. Professor Slogar is determined to create the perfect groom for her daughter. She still has a ways to go. Professor Helena Slogar, eccentric inventor. Helena enjoys gardening, long walks in the moonlight, and reanimating the dead. Lord Slogar, brain in a box. Lord Slogar's thoughts may be muddled, but Helena assures us that his heart is in the right place. Elias E. Gore, itinerant gravedigger. It can be hard for a traveling gravedigger to find jobs, but there's always work at Castle Slogar. And we have Castle Slogar Weird Workshop, a wonderful place to raise a family from the dead. So I'll take a look at my hand. Actually, I have Imaginary Friend, which is quite powerful. Choose a living character from a family of your choice and remove it from the game. Then remove this card from the game. So if they have someone who's got a bunch of negative points and they haven't killed them yet, we can pop this on them and they go away. And the Tea Time Terror. So this is one you'd play on your home or the opponent's home. So it's worth -10. Continuous worth an additional -5 for each character with the goblet icon in your family. That's pretty good. We've got a modifier, old without grace. Immediately random discard 2 cards from your hand. Death becomes you. Hurry it up. Got a death, died of despair. A person can only take so much heartache. But immediate discard your entire hand. So a lot of the death cards aren't worth any points. This one actually is. I have another event. Lucky Stiff. Immediate, remove and discard the top modifier card from one dead character. Okay. I don't really want to lose my imaginary friend, and I have some other things that cause me to discard cards, so we'll try to avoid that. So what we're going to do is play this first on our home. So Hemlock Hall, the Mysterious Manor, becomes Hemlock Hall in the Tea Time Terror. Thunder. This would be a good one to play, but it's causing me to discard cards. It's randomly discard 2 cards. I really don't want to lose Imaginary Friend, but I don't have much else I can do. So I'm going to go ahead and risk it, and we'll play this. So I think perhaps Lord Wellington Smythe grew old without grace, and you kind of see how it covers up the previous stuff. So from Dumbfounded Duke to grew old without grace.
Butterfield, a restorative, please.
Well, we discarded other stuff and kept the Imaginary Friend, drawing up to our max, and then the opponent's turn. Let's see what he will do.
I should study this.
Professor Helena Slogar was greeted by ghosts. That's what you get for revisiting your old haunts. Which made him discard some cards, and playing an effect. Castle Slogar and the Deadly Bees! I'll have to check the effect on that. I didn't have time to read it. And the Deadly Bees! I have to do it again. If a character in your family has a death icon, anyone can play an untimely death card on that character regardless of its self-worth. So yeah, normally you can't kill someone with a positive self-worth score. But this will let anyone kill any of the Castle Slogar family regardless of whether they're positive or negative. So what did we draw? So the things hit like this that will have a positive effect on people, which you'd usually play on your opponents. So we have, was comforted by cocoa. Nothing beats a warm fire, a cup of cocoa, and knowing that all your enemies are dead. So it has a continuous effect. No player can take cards from your hand for any reason. So that affects the family it's played on, not the person who plays it. So same with anything that causes you to draw cards or that kind of stuff. Then we have, was married magnificently. It's the happiest day of your life, and possibly your last. Draw limit is increased by a card. So this would actually cover up both of the negative effects here. So I may do that. We've got, was plagued by the pox. You picked up the pox from a fox in a box. Draw limit is decreased, so it does have a negative. So some of the more powerful cards, or that have high values, will sometimes have negatives like that. Pestered by poltergeists. They're back. Randomly give 2 cards from your hand to the previous player. I don't like that, especially when I have Imaginary Friend in my hand. So, I could just do Imaginary Friend and take out Helena Slogar. That is definitely an option. It also would reduce the amount of possible points my opponent will have. That's a pretty good option. I've also got a way I can cover up. You can kind of see the positions. I could actually cover up both of the negative effects that she has. I think just because I'm trying to keep this card without losing it, I'm just going to go ahead and use it before I lose it. So we'll play Imaginary Friend on Helena Slogar. So after Helena Slogar was greeted by ghosts, it turned out she was actually just an imaginary friend.
Perfect.
And she's gone. Okay, what else do we want to do? I think we can spread around some negative effects. So I think perhaps Lola Wellington Smythe, the Wild Child, was plagued by the pox.
Oh, not again.
Again? Is that taunted by tigers? I think I just drew. Playing something against me.
I can always use more.
So Lord Wellington Smythe, after growing old without grace, was knighted by nincompoops, which is actually a really powerful card we'll look at.
I want more.
And Lord Lolo, after being plagued by the pox, was diverted by drink. And which is making me discard a card because he played it on me. What do I have? I'm just looking at positions about what I might want to play or not. This is quite powerful, has a negative. This I might want to play on my opponent. This I could actually play on Wellington Smythe and kind of counter some of the effects. Maybe I have to check the effect of the Knighted by Nincompoops. Or Pestered by Poltergeist would counteract the negatives on there. So we'll get rid of the Comforted by Coco. Only 3 cards to play. So yeah, so we had Lola, Diverted by Drink, which caused me to discard a card. Knighted by Nincompoops is a very powerful card. It's an honor you'll carry to the grave. Whenever a new modifier card is played on this character, place it beneath this one. So there's no way to get rid of this positive 20 points here. I don't think we can get rid of the Lucra either here. So I can play the Pestered by Poltergeist on him, and then that would take these 2 lower positions, so it would make him 0 sum total. If I played, for example, Taunted by Tigers on it, this negative 20 would be covered by the positive 20, it wouldn't even show up. And I think this would actually cover as well and be it. I could potentially play this on myself just to increase my own draw size for my hand, and then I could cover it up with an effect later. So that's possible. I really don't want to skip my draw phase this turn because I have so few cards. And this gives cards to my opponent, so I want to play the second. So I guess we're going to have to use the Married Magnificently. So I think perhaps just to help me draw some additional cards, goodies are the Nefarious Nanny was married magnificently. It's the happiest day of your life.
The love potion worked.
And possibly your last. And then I'm going to go ahead and play the Pestered by Poltergeists on Lord Wellington Smythe. So after Lord Wellington Smythe was knighted by nincompoops, he was pestered by poltergeists, which will put him at a 0 overall.
Butterfield, a restorative, please.
We can draw some extra cards. Take a look at those on my turn. Messing with me some more. Oh, killed off Lola. The twins starred on the stage. You've always depended on the kindness of strangers. So Lola, who had been diverted by drink, disappeared in the fog. When you're out on the bog, watch out for the fog. So basically killing off this character, so I'm not going to get many points out of her. What do I have? Poisoned by penguins. Penguins are always just to kill. Randomly take one untimely death card from the discard pile and add it to your hand. We have my favorite card, Mauled by Manatees. They're fierce if you rile them. Skip your draw phase. Bedeviled by Doctors. Darn those miracles of modern science. Continuous, you can't play untimely death cards. You have an unpleasant surprise. Choose a living character, discard its top modifier. I think that would get rid of the Knighted by Nincompoops, so I think we'll do that. We've got a death was torn limb from limb. Rest in pieces. Worth an additional -10 with the beast icon. So, for example, the Poisoned by Penguins has the beast icon. The Mauled by Manatees has the beast icon. Drank too much rye. At least the remains are already pickled. Worth an additional -10 with the Goblet. And Taunted by Tigers. You're not the ringleader this time. Skip your draw phase. A couple skip your draw phases. But yeah, I think I'm going to try to get rid of the Knighted by Nincompoops. I haven't used this in combination, so we'll see if it actually works.
Oh, jolly good.
Excellent. So Wellington Smythe is now back to being pestered by poltergeists, and worth a whole 40 points, which is not bad at all. So I may want to kill him next turn. I can't do it now because you have to play a death on your first action. So I think to cover up some of the positives on the twins. So the twins starred on the stage, but then they were taunted by tigers.
Can we keep them?
So I'll skip my draw phase, but covers up those positive effects. Melissa
Of course.
was ruined by rum, the bane of pirates and socialites alike. And Grogar was crippled by creditors. Delaying debts can be deadly. I just was found in the furnace, I think was the death card I just saw. I'll have to check. Drowned by a duck. You're going down. Maybe played on a character with positive self-worth score if that character has the duck icon. Found in the Furnace. Yeah, I haven't seen this one before. Ashes to Ashes. If the character has the dagger icon, immediate, draw one card for each dagger icon in play. Do I have anyone with the dagger icon? I don't think so. It doesn't look like it. We've got the Poisoned by Penguins, Mauled by Manatee still, Bedeviled by Doctors, Torn Limb from Limb, which I think we'll be playing here. Drank too much rye. Well, I've got two potential targets. Wellington Smythe, we can get 40 points. And the twins, if I use the Torn Limb from Limb, will get me an extra 10, so that'll be 40 points as well. But I think we'll take out Wellington Smythe here first. So Wellington Smythe, who was pestered by poltergeists. What makes sense? I want to keep this in, for the twins. I might want to keep this in case I get something with the dagger icon. So instead of anything crazy, after Lord Wellington Smythe was pestered by poltergeists, he drank too much rye and died tragically. And the remains are already pickled. I can't play another death, unfortunately, so we'll have to spread around some negative effects. I could even play this card on my opponent, Bedeviled by Doctors, because then he wouldn't be able to play untimely death cards and couldn't kill anyone, at least until dealing with this card, covering it up with another effect. I just don't like the Poisoned by Penguins. I think, yes, perhaps Goody Czar, who was married magnificently. Well, there are some good interactions with the marriage effect, so I might leave that in case something good comes up. So for now, I think we'll just spread around the love. And I think perhaps Butterfield was poisoned by penguins.
Call the exterminator.
The Penguin Exterminator. So that got me another death card. Just died of sheer shame. Let's check it out. He didn't do anything on his turn. So what do we have? Died of sheer shame. Once bitten, twice dead, apparently? Continuous. If this character has the marriage icon, no one can play modifier cards with the marriage icon on your family. Okay. I have someone with a marriage icon, but they're positive, so I can't kill them anyway. Drowned by a duck. You're going down! So I can kill anybody with this, even if they have a positive. Still have the Found in the Furnace, which I think is hilarious. So I think the first thing we'll do is the twins who were taunted by tigers were torn limb from limb. Rest in pieces.
Time for a nap.
Already up to 100 points. Got 2 people left alive. And the game will end when any one family is all dead. I don't have any particularly great cards to play on myself. I can cover up this positive, or this 0 that's at the upper part of Goody, but I can't really cover the bottom. None of my modifiers cover that. I could play this on my opponent just so that they can't kill anyone. At least until they deal with this card. So that's an option. It's probably my best because I can't kill anyone else this turn. So for now, I suppose Grogar, who was crippled by creditors, was then bedeviled by doctors.
Time for a nap.
Yeah, that's a glitch that has come up in the game where it plays the wrong audio. Sometimes it's quite funny. So, Lord Slogar.
Things can't get much worse.
Murdered a magistrate. Court adjourned. And Igor
Oh, they're worse.
was distressed by dysentery. You don't want to know the details. I'm sure I don't. Well, what do we have? Galled by gangrene. Who likes to lose a limb? Pierced by porcupines. Sometimes having too many points can be a dangerous thing. Died of sheer shame. We still have. Drowned by a duck. We still have. Found in the furnace, which I think is hilarious. I'd still like to use it. But I don't have anyone with a dagger icon, so we'll hold on to it. And mauled by a manatee. I don't have good placement for a lot of these. The best thing I could do would be to play something on Goody. I don't really want to skip my draw phase by playing this. So I think, what is my effect here? Goblet. Okay. Don't have any goblet effects either. So just to kind of, I could actually discard my hand and then I could draw a whole bunch of new cards. But first, I think what we'll do is, I haven't seen anything come up in a while, so we'll go ahead and deal with Goody. Goody, who was married magnificently, was then pierced by porcupines.
Please don't worry about me.
And I think I'm going to go ahead and discard my hand, actually, just to draw some different things. I really hate giving up the Found in the Furnace, because I haven't seen this before, and I think it's hilarious. Yeah, that'll do. We'll just discard. Oh, messing with Butterfield.
I assure you, it won't distract me from my duties.
Butterfield was wondrously well wed. Apparently headstones are the in gift this year. And Lord Slogar, who had murdered a magistrate,
It won't distract me from my duties.
was beaten by beggars. Give till it hurts, then give some more. Alright, what did we end up with? Tried for treason. Wow, that's worth quite a bit. Discard your entire hand, also skip your draw phase, so that's quite bad. But it's worth 40 points all by itself. Next time, try harder. Disgraced at a dance. Glass shoes, good thinking. Didn't think things through. And it seemed like such a good idea at the time. If this character has a mystery icon, you may play an untimely death card as your second play this turn. So if I kill someone with the mystery icon... Don't have anyone with a mystery icon, do I? Nope. Okay. Out with the olds. All other players must discard any event cards and untimely death cards they have in their hand. You can't actually see from the back if it's an untimely death. You can kind of see the raven or crow, I'm not sure which it's supposed to be, on the back of the card. So you do have an idea a little bit of kind of what your opponent has to some extent. Slain by an heir. Worth an additional -10 with the Lucra or Marriage icon. You can't take it with you. Badly betrothed. Take one untimely death card from the discard pile, add it to your hand. A plague on both your residences. Broke many bones. They say that pain is the greatest teacher. Guess what? You failed. So, Butterfield, who was wondrously wonderfully wet. What? Butterfield, who was wondrously wed, was badly betrothed.
I've no time for such things.
I'm not sure how you get married and then also get betrothed. And we found pushed down the stairs. It's a stairway to heaven or to hell. So that's additional -10 with lucre or marriage. So we've got the dagger and the marriage icon here. So we do have a couple options. Slain by an heir or push down the stairs for next turn. For Butterfield, perhaps. Just looking if there's anything else I can play that would give me some benefit. I could play this on Butterfield, but then it would cover up his marriage icon. I don't really want to discard my entire hand. So maybe just to do something, we'll play the Out with the Old card. Just so he can't kill anyone on his turn, anyway. So Grogar, who had been deviled by doctors,
such things.
Contracted consumption. Conspicuous consumption is such a tragedy. So that was another one of the audio glitches.
I've no time for such things.
Melissa Slogar was sickened by salmon. Fish fowl or fowl fish? So we have some options to offing Butterfield. He's not worth a ton of points right now, but I do get an extra 10, either for push down the stairs, or the slain by an heir. Doesn't make too much difference. Butterfield, who had been wondrously wed and then was badly betrothed, was slain by an heir.
Curse you.
Curse you. So now I don't mind so much maybe playing this. Well, it does kind of mean I can't do anything next turn. But it would be nice. I'm definitely ahead at this point, so Goody Czar, who was pierced by porcupines, was tried for treason. Bum bum bum. Doesn't get rid of the beast icon.
Someone will pay for this.
I'll have some more options. We have the mystery icon, the beast icon. But unfortunately, I'm not going to draw any cards, so my next turn will be kind of pointless. Oh, gonna mess with me.
Such a delight!
After being tried for treason, Goody Czar was delighted by ducklings. They say the devil adores a duck. Be careful if you say that too fast.
Such a delight!
Igor was burdened by boils. It beats being boiled, but not by much. He's ending up giving me cards because of the cards he's playing. Yeah, like I said, sometimes that audio glitch with playing the wrong thing is pretty funny. So I do actually have some cards, amazingly. We have Pursued by Poodles. They may look silly, but they can strip the meat off a rhinoceros in less than a minute. And we have And the Menacing Menagerie. Worth an additional -5 for each character with a beast icon in your family. This isn't going to do me any good. The one I've got is actually a little better, because I do have a goblet here, and it's worth a -10 already. So, Goody Czar, who had been delighted by ducklings, was then pursued by poodles.
Please don't worry about me.
So now she's at least worth some decent negative points. And then I'm going to discard this, I think. And we can draw some cards. Started by snakes, clever at cards, menaced by mice, chastised by the church. No deaths, though. Lord Slogar, who'd been beaten by beggars, was deceived by the deed. Fortunately, there's a wonderful bridge for sale. And Melissa, who was sickened by salmon, was seduced in the stables. There's always time for a roll in the hay. So what do I have? I've got chastised by the church. We're not going to speculate about your vile, deviant practices. Draw limit is decreased by 1. Not super helpful for me. Menaced by mice. Perhaps the elephants know something we don't. Was clever at cards. Immediately draw a card. Aces and eights again. And we've got startled by snakes. Not to mention being vexed by vipers and angered by asps. And we have And the Morbid Museum. Worth an additional -10 for each mystery beneath this one. So I could actually play this, and it would cover that. I wouldn't get the extra -5. I'd get 10. It wouldn't cover the -10. I think that'll work. I haven't really messed with these too much. So we go from Hemlock Hall and the Tea Time Terror to Hemlock Hall and the Morbid Museum. Yeah, so still have the -10 and should have an additional -10 there. I didn't actually check the score before I played that. I probably should have. And only other thing I can really do, other than maybe playing a positive on one of my opponents before he gets any points, would be that Goodiezar, who was pursued by poodles, was then menaced by mice. I don't know, something about that I like. We'll do that.
Making friends.
Perhaps the elephants know something we don't. There we go, I drew a death. Probably going to kill some people here.
Oh dear.
Lord Slogar, who was deceived by the deed, ran out of air. It's never appreciated until it's gone. Ah.
You're too kind.
After being menaced by mice, Goodiezar landed a legacy. That's a good will. What do I have? Cursed by the Queen! She is not amused. Discard your entire hand. Devoured by weasels. Dinner is served. Worth an additional -10 with the beast, which I don't have anymore on her. I've got Lucra and Mystery. Burnt by a mob. 50 people with torches and pitchforks can't be wrong. You may use an Untimely Death card as your second play this turn. Got Found Fame at a Feast. It's easy to be the life of the party when the other guests keep dying. Chastised by the Church. I had that before. Clever at Cards. And Startled by Snakes. I would like to do something about this positive 15. She is worth a -10 overall, so I could go ahead and kill her anyway. And that would end the game. I'm quite ahead in points here, so maybe we'll just do that. And then we can get another one in, because this was pretty quick. So perhaps Goodiezar, who had landed a legacy, was then devoured by weasels.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah. Oh my. So I've only got 55 points, and I got 145. It's actually pretty low compared to what I've often been getting lately, but he didn't really get many deaths going. Let's do another one. Do the same with just 2 players using the expansion. Who should we play as? Which family? I do like Giggles the Clown here. Les Artistes I also like. Yeah, I wish there were more. Let's go with Les Artistes. Playing against Doc's Den of Deformity. Yeah, so this must be my residence here. Yeah, I don't remember this being here last time I played. Maybe I'm just not paying enough attention. So we have Marie Delacroix, misunderstood model. Delacroix? She's found a way to make her paralyzing fear of clothing work for her. We have Rousseau, patchwork painter. His dearest Rosalind wishes he'd just send flowers instead of hand, ear, eye, other hand. Simon Simone, androgynous actor. As far as Simon is concerned, gender is just another role. James de Winter, penniless poet. You have to suffer to write. Apparently James just hasn't suffered enough. Yeah, we'll make him suffer. Belladonna, consumptive courtesan. Once she was consumed by passion, now she's just being consumed. And we have Le Canard Noir, cursed cafe. Absinthe makes the heart grow fonder. The other Blackwater clan, we have Cousin Mordecai, the red-headed stepchild. Inbreeding is the least of his worries. The old dame, murderous matriarch. She rules the Blackwater clan with an iron fist, and when necessary, with blackmail, poison, and a knife in the dark. Angel, starry-eyed serial killer. Angel's always had a hankering to go to the big city and kill someone. Willem Stark, disturbing handyman. Willem has worked with the old dame for decades. In that time, he's handled all sorts of jobs and relatives. Everyone's favorite, Balthazar, the unfaithful hound. Balthazar knows where all the bones are buried. Blackwater Watch, foreboding farm. They only show the outhouse. Home is where the heart is, buried beneath the floorboards. What do I have for cards? Beaten by beggars. Give till it hurts, then give some more. Sickened by salmon. Fish foul or foul fish. Discard 1 card from your hand every time you play a modifier card, including this one. I really don't like this effect. Some of the cards have this on it, and this isn't even worth that much. This is one that I would actually play on my opponent because it affects whoever's family has it on them, not who plays it. Maybe we'll do that. Murdered a magistrate. Court adjourned. All players, including you, must discard any event cards in their hand. I don't have any events, so that's fine. Terrified by topiary. For generations we've cut down trees at Christmas time. Now it's payback time. And I've got something for my home, but this is positive points. And the Daring Detectives. Continuous, you may draw 1 card whenever anyone plays an untimely death card or a modifier card with the marriage or dagger icon. So let me draw a lot of extra cards. So that might be worth it. I think I'll go ahead and play it just because. If it's bad, we'll try to get rid of it later. So now it's Le Canard Noir and the Daring Detectives. And then this one doesn't really affect me. So who do we want to make miserable first? Perhaps James de Winter, the penniless poet, murdered a magistrate.
How much more must I suffer?
Court adjourned, haha! Pushed down the stairs. And landed a legacy. Take a look at those on my turn. Let's see what the opponent is going to do. Messing with me already.
If food be the music of love, dine on.
After murdering a magistrate, James de Winter had a picnic in the park. A jug of wine, a loaf of bread, and something about wolves I didn't have time to see. Messing with me some more.
Fantastique.
Marie de Winter was clever at cards. Aces and eights again. I'm drawing a ton of cards here. It's your turn! Exclamation mark is kind of unnecessary. Yeah, I've got tons of cards here. Ran out of air. It's never appreciated until it's gone. Worth an additional -10 with the death icon. Died of sheer shame. Once bitten, twice dead, apparently? This character has the marriage icon. No one can play modifier cards with the marriage icon on your family. Pursued by poodles. They may look silly, but they can snip the meat of our rhinoceros in less than a minute. I don't know why Frenchburn said that, but yeah. Landed a legacy. That's a goodwill. Draw 2 cards. Pushed down the stairs. It's a stairway to heaven or to hell. Additional -10 with lucre or marriage. Beaten by beggars. Give till it hurts, then give some more. Sickened by salmon, I think we had before. Yeah, this one, I really don't like this effect. Terrified by topiary. So to counteract this, I think Marie Delacroix, who was clever at cards, was then terrified by topiary.
Away, you beast.
Topiary beast. And I think I'm going to play this on my opponent because it affects whoever's family it's on. At least I think that was the way it worked last time. So I think perhaps Balthazar, the faithful or unfaithful hound, actually, was sickened by salmon. Grumpy dog noise. Oh, gonna get rid of it. After being sickened by salmon, Balthazar broke many bones. They say that pain is the greatest teacher. I guess you failed.
Well, dang.
Cousin Mordecai grew old without grace. Death becomes you. Hurry it up. Did I draw anything else? Ran out of air. Died of sheer shame. Pushed down the stairs. Pursued by poodles. Landed a legacy. And beaten by beggars. So I think perhaps James de Winter, who murdered a magistrate and then had a picnic in the park, which is, I guess, what you do after you murder a magistrate, was beaten by beggars. Don't hang out in the park too much, kids. You get beaten by beggars.
I am fortune's fool.
And maybe we will counteract the negative on Balthazar here. Balthazar broke many bones, but then he landed a legacy. It will mean he'll draw some cards, but it mostly counteracts that. So after Cousin Mordecai grew old without grace, he fell from on high. Sometimes you have to take a dive. And Balthazar had a horrible holiday. You need to get away from your getaway. So we got something else affecting my home. And the Menacing Menagerie. Worth an additional -5 for each character with a beast icon in the family. There's this one. Lets me draw cards with death. Or modifiers with marriage or dagger. And I think I'll hold on to this for now. Maybe closer to the end of the game, if I still have this, we'll swap it out. We've got Trapped on a Train. All stops lead to a bloody death. You cannot play event cards. Okay. Have ran out of air, died of sheer shame, pursued by poodles, and pushed down the stairs. So I think perhaps Rousseau, the patchwork painter who's missing many limbs, was pursued by poodles.
Did I just lose another piece?
Maybe, if they caught up to you. Skeletonized in seconds. And then Belladonna, the consumptive courtesan, was trapped on a train. All stops lead to a bloody death.
This will surely be the end of me.
So overly dramatic! There's my Mauled by Manatee card, one of my favorite cards. So my opponent didn't get to do anything, because he played a card last time that discarded his hand. So we have Mauled by a Manatee. They're fierce if you rile them. Skip your draw phase. That's not too bad because of the effect I have here that might let me draw some cards. A lot of deaths. So this is extra with the death icon. No one's got the death icon. This one is something that stops people from affecting me. If I kill someone with a marriage icon, no one's got the marriage icon. This is worth an extra with marriage or lucre. No one has marriage or lucre, so it doesn't really do me any good to kill anyone off. So just perhaps Simon Simone, the androgynous actor, was mauled by a manatee.
Oh, beastly.
Unfortunately, I can't discard some cards. I wouldn't mind necessarily. I don't really want to play anything else. I don't really want to discard my hand because I'm not going to draw any cards this turn. So I'll just skip my second action, hoping my opponent will play some stuff that'll let me draw some cards from my special effect on my house.
Fantastique.
Marie Delacroix starred on the stage. You've always depended on the kindness of strangers. Yeah, that gave me a card.
Oh, woe is me.
Angel was distressed by dysentery. You don't want to know the details. Not getting so many negative points out this game. Mangled by mimes. They're silent but deadly. I don't think I've seen this one before. Discard your entire hand and skip your draw phase. That's kind of bad. It would counteract the effects on Marie Delacroix. I can kill someone off, but I don't have anyone worth a lot of points. What, 25 is the most I've got available, which isn't very much. So I don't particularly want to kill anyone off. Now, I'll hope I can draw some stuff. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. So Marie Delacroix, who starred on the stage, was then mangled by mimes, perhaps even on the same stage.
Away, you beast.
They're silent but deadly. So I'll lose my hand, I won't draw anything, but hopefully my opponent will play something to give me some cards. The old dam
I never.
was scarred by scandals. The truth hurts. No, no cards for me. So I'll just draw, and that'll be the end of my turn. Oh, Balthazar's going down, probably. After having a horrible holiday, Balthazar was eaten by bears. Because bears have to eat too.
I may never eat again.
After being mangled by mimes, Marie Delacroix starved in a storm. What was that? Unfortunately, you didn't leave the cake out in the rain. Whole new hand, what do we got? Didn't think things through. And it seemed like such a good idea at the time. If the character has the mystery icon, you can play Untimely Death as your second play this turn. I don't remember if the dagger is the I think the magnifying glass is the mystery icon. We've got Plagued by the Pox. Your draw limit is decreased by 1. You picked up the pox from a fox in a box. Positioning-wise, it doesn't help me a whole lot. Went mildly mad. There is no sanity clause. Discard 1 card from your hand every time you play a modifier card, including this one. I really don't like that. I could play it on my opponent. Died old and alone. No, 50 cats don't count. This card can't be placed on a character with the marriage icon. And wounded by wasps. Not to mention being bothered by bees and harried by hornets. So I don't have a lot of good positioning available, so what I will do is James de Winter, who was beaten by beggars, was then wounded by wasps.
Well, every dog will have his day.
Having a bad time in the park. I may play this on my opponent. So if I play this on Angel, it would drop the 15 to a 10 and cause him to discard cards. So this doesn't really help me too much, except on Marie Delacroix. Maybe I should do that. If I play the other one on Angel, he might just kill Angel off. He's got a couple death cards available. So perhaps Marie Delacroix, who starved in a storm, was then plagued by the pox.
Must I cover this?
You picked up the pox from a fox in a box. Angel, who was distressed by dysentery, was badly burned. Well done. Yeah, killed her off. And Willem Stark
That just breaks my banjo.
fell in love with a leper. He offered you his hand. No, really. So I need to get some points. James de Winter is ripe and ready for death. So what do we have? Found maggots in the meat. Finders keepers. Discard a card from your hand. Praised in the papers. Don't forget to blame the little people. This might be good to play on one of his. Your draw limit is increased by 1 card. If your residence has a mystery, it's increased by 2. So we have didn't think things through, and it seemed like such a good idea at the time. Or died old and alone. So this doesn't really help me for killing James de Winter. But we'll finish him off just to get some points. So James de Winter, who'd been wounded by wasps, didn't think things through.
To be or...
Pretty far behind in this game. Not sure I'll be able to make it up, actually. So I think perhaps... Maybe the old dame who'd been scarred by scandals was then praised in the papers.
I suppose it'll do.
Don't forget to blame the little people. Choked on a bone. True thing. Willem Stark, who fell in love with a leper, drank too much rye. At least the remains are already pickled. Yeah, he's killing off everybody to get points.
This is Mordecai's fault. Where is
Being
that boy?
praised in the papers, the old dame was chased by children. Sticks and stones can break your bones. Yeah, I'm way behind, and there's only one person left in the other family, so I need some points ASAP, but I don't really have good ways to do that. We've got And the Morbid Museum, worth an additional -10 for each mystery beneath this one. I think we may switch that out just to get some extra points. Got Choked on a Bone, worth an additional 10 with the goblet icon. At least you had a Last Supper. Does anyone have the goblet? No. Still have the Found Maggots in the Meat, which doesn't help much. Went Mildly Mad, doesn't help much because of the positioning. Died Old and Alone, doesn't help much because of the positioning. So my most valuable person is the -30. So Marie Delacroix, who was plagued by the pox, then choked on a bone.
Alas.
And then from Le Canard and the Daring Detectives, we go to Le Canard and the Morbid Museum. That'll get me some negative points. Won't be getting the draw effect. Probably going to kill the old dam here right away. Nope.
Sometimes a duck is just a duck.
After being mauled by manatees, Simon Simone was delighted by ducklings. They say the devil adores a duck. I always have to be careful when I say that.
Such a glorious celebration.
Belladonna, who was trapped on a train, was then diverted by drink. A little diversion goes a long way. I've got a discard card. Do I have Pandered to Pugs? Just say no to pugs. Was consumed from within. What a way to waste away. Knighted by Nincompoops. I definitely want to play this on the last member of the opposing family. This could be okay because now I have this effect on Simon Simone to get rid of. Yeah, we'll get rid of the Mildly Mad card. Just because of its other effect of making me discard cards when I play modifiers. Don't really have a good target to kill. I need some extra points. So what I'm going to do here is the old dam who was chased by children was knighted by Nincompoops. It's an honor you'll carry to the grave. This is a really powerful card, and the AI has had trouble dealing with this before when I've played it. Because whenever a new modifier card is played on this character, place it beneath this one. So it kind of throws it off. It keeps trying to replace the numbers, but it can't.
I'm keeping it.
So we'll see what the AI does. Maybe that'll buy me some time to get some points. So we have Found Maggots in the Meat, which we could play on Simon Simone or on Belladonna. We also have the Pandered to Pugs. This will cause me to discard one card for each beast icon in play, including this one. That's not great. So I think perhaps Belladonna, who was diverted by drink, then found maggots in the meat.
No one has ever known such pain.
No one. And this one could give me extra points depending on what comes up, so we'll get rid of this. Belladonna, who found maggots in the meat, then found fame at a feast. It's easy to be the life of the party when the other guests keep dying. And let's see what happens here.
Someone will pay for this.
So yeah, it still shows knighted by Nincompoops on the top, so I can't even see what card he played, just that it affected, gave it a -10. That's the one thing I do have a criticism about the game. It's a very faithful adaptation of the card game, but I can't look at the cards underneath the top one. And that was something I would do often when someone died, playing the card game, You could kind of go back through their life and look at what happened in order, except for cards that had been removed and stuff. You could kind of see what happened as they progressed through and the suffering that they went through and the trials and tribulations of their life, which would sometimes make kind of funny stories. You can kind of play things in a certain way to make it kind of entertaining as well. But I do kind of miss that. And also for effects, I can't look at what the cards underneath are. At least not that I'm aware of a way to do it. So we have Perturbed by the Pudding. Shark-infested custard is an acquired taste. Not worth a lot of points, but better than some positive numbers. Never returned. Good riddance. Worth an additional -10 with the beast icon. Jinxed by gypsies. Draw limit is decreased. The tall dark stranger in your future is carrying a scythe. Drowned in a bog. Worth an additional -10 with the death icon. Greeted by ghosts. That's what you get for revisiting your old haunts. Discard 3 cards from your hand. That's not great. Pander to pugs. Just say no to pugs. Discarding 1 card for each beast icon in play. And consumed from within. So we've got bonus for death, and bonus for beast. So, what do we have out here? Keeping slightly in theme, Belladonna, who found fame at a feast, was then jinxed by gypsies.
Oh, how I suffer.
The tall dark stranger on your future is carrying a scythe. And then I think Simon Simone, who was delighted by ducklings, pandered to pugs.
Oh, beastly.
Ooh. I'm not exactly sure what pandering to pugs means in this context, but okay. I don't want to discard 3 cards, so we'll get rid of that one. This isn't worth a lot. Beast icon, I do have some beast icons out there. These are basically the same. We'll get rid of Drowned in a Bog and keep the Consumed from Within just because I like it better. Tried for treason, deceived by the deed. So we drew. Take a look.
Life is full of such wonders.
After being jinxed by gypsies, Belladonna was the toast of the town. Enjoy your 15 minutes of fame. Next stop, a life of dull misery.
Baltazar, get in here.
That's a pretty good card to play under there. Probably going to kill her next turn, and that'll be the end of it. So I'm probably going to lose this one, actually, which doesn't happen too often. So we have Deceived by the Deed. Fortunately, there's a wonderful bridge for sale. It does have kind of a bad negative effect. Tried for treason. Next time, try harder. Discard your entire hand and skip your draw phase. We have Never Returned. Good riddance. Worth additional -10 with the beast. Another worth additional -10 with death. Consumed from within. What a way to waste away. So I suppose Rousseau, who was pursued by poodles, then never returned. Give me 25 points. Not going to be enough. I don't have time to really discard my whole hand and skip my draw phase. If I play this and lose the mysteries, I'll lose 10 points. But then I'm gaining 10 points for the effect. Yeah, we might as well. Belladonna, who is the toast of the town. Yeah. Enjoy your 15 minutes of fame. Next stop, a lifetime of dull misery. So after being the toast of the town, Belladonna was deceived by the deed.
Oh, whatever shall I do?
Found love by the lake, pierced by porcupines, crippled by creditors. Probably gonna kill the old dam here. Yep. The old dam was overcome by the measles. X marks the spots. The game is over! The exclamation mark seems excessive. Yeah, 100 points to 140. Yeah, it's just a little bit behind there. Oh well. Well, that was probably going to be about it for today. I just kind of wanted to mess around with Gloom a little bit. It's possible I might do some Signal from Tolva later, but I'm not sure. We'll see. But yeah, I just felt like playing some more Gloom today. I just felt in the mood and thought I would go ahead and stream it. So I do appreciate you hanging out and watching. Hopefully I will see you next time. If you're interested in any other previous streams, I've got older streams past the couple-week mark up on my YouTube channel, which is also Disturbing Puppet. So please check that out as well. I would appreciate it. Thank you very much. Hopefully I will see you next time.